All right, it's 7 o'clock. Call this regular city council meeting order. Please join with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, got just a note for Alderman, Alderwomen. Please speak directly into your mic because we often get complaints that people can't hear when they're watching the video. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein.
Present.
Platt-Miller.
Present.
Lavallee.
Here.
Hoeflich.
Here.
Lancaster. Kriete.
Here.
Perkins.
Present.
Luna. Quorum present.
All right, thank you, Clerk. We'll move on to item number 3. We do not have any alderpersons that are going to attend the meeting electronically, so we'll move now on to item number 4, which is public comment. If you have anything you would like to make a public comment for City Council for anything that's not on the city's agenda, please come forward. If you could state your name and your address for the record, and you've got a basically about a 3-minute window that you can make your statement.
Is that per person or for like?
Per person.
Okay, perfect.
Well, lots of people.
I am old school with my paper.
No problem.
Okay, hello city board members. I hope this message finds you well. I'm writing on behalf of myself and several homeowners in our neighborhood to address the ongoing issue we have facing concerning parking in our driveways. Many of us are receiving parking tickets and violations because our vehicles, when parked in our driveway, block the sidewalks. We understand the importance of keeping our sidewalks safe, but this current situation has left us in a difficult position. So, for an example, my name's Samantha. I live at 525 Meadow Lane in Oak Grove Crossing. That's Grandpa's house. Sorry, I'm nervous.
No problem.
Country Brook. So, my husband and I both drive, and then my daughter, she's 16, she drives too. Our garage says 2-car, it is not. You pull one car in, you get another car in, that person can't get out. So it's not really a 2-car garage, so I do want to just address that it is an issue. So we can maybe put 1 car in, but in the summertime, we do utilize our garage for a pool. So, a day like yesterday, I'm not going to go outside and blow up the pool, and because I wouldn't be here today if I did that. It was so hot yesterday. My 4-year-old wanted to go swimming. So we do use our garage for summer purposes. So I just want to express that if there's something that we can come to terms with, we believe with open communication, we can find a workable solution to respect both of the residents and the city as well. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to address council? Hearing none. Chief, could you kind of give us a quick brief of the laws that are at play here, both state and city ordinances that are kind of creating this situation?
Yes. So on June 17th, we received complaints regarding vehicles parked over the sidewalk for people that were trying to go for walks in their neighborhoods. So we conducted a directed patrol to enforce the parking over the sidewalk complaints. Any complaint that comes in, if there is violations, we do a directed patrol to enforce that. The state law, it's actually a state law, 625 ILCS 511-1303, states stopping, staying, or parking prohibited in specific places except when necessary to avoid conflict with other traffic or in compliance with law or directions of police officer or official traffic control device. No person shall stop, stand, or park a vehicle, and letter B is on a sidewalk. This section also covers, your fire hydrants 12 inches from the curb, so many feet from a stop sign. That's this whole section. And what we do is, because we adopted the ILCS code under Chapter 15, 15.01, we write it under City Ordinance 1501, but it's referencing this specific section. So it is a city ordinance, but it's a city ordinance adopting the state law.
Right, I understand. So, and then there's a couple of other ordinances, though, that are at play here that are contributing to this issue.
Correct. So one of the other things is that we're dealing with at the same time is people parking on their lawns. That started at the same time, but obviously that has increased since this enforcement action has been done. So we have been issuing citations for that as well.
And then lastly, there's an ordinance for overnight parking on the street,
Correct. So anywhere in the city at any time between
2 and 5.
2 and 5 a.m., vehicles are prohibited from parking on the streets.
So these three ordinance, council, is what is kind of creating this issue. Obviously, we can't really change state law, but you do have at your disposal or your discretion to consider the ordinance for overnight parking on the street. That ordinance was enacted before I moved to this community, and there are a lot of reasons why that ordinance was enacted. Some of the reasons that I'm aware of are because during snow, when there's a snow emergency, it was very difficult to get vehicles moved out of the roadway to properly plow. Many people were abandoning cars in the roadway, so then it became a real problem for the city in trying to deal with abandoned cars in the roadway. And so, as a consequence, at that time, the council passed the ordinance to not park overnight in the street between 2 and 5 a.m. I think many communities in Illinois have adopted a very similar ordinance. It's at your discretion if you want to revisit that particular ordinance, because I think that is the ordinance that you have an input to on considering some other revision to that ordinance. Some communities, what they have done to help alleviate this problem is instituted, they still have the no parking on the street, but have instituted a on-street parking permit that would allow people to park on-street for a fee. But then when there's a snow emergency, they have to find somewhere else to park. They cannot park on the street during the snow emergency. If that is something that council wants to entertain, I'd recommend that go into the administration committee, because it's not infrastructure, it's really just an ordinance to consider that if so you wish to do so. Outside of that, I don't know that there's anything else that the city can do to alleviate this problem.
I mean, is this a widespread problem that?
Well, it has become one. So in the time that we have been enforcing this, the police have written a number of tickets, Chief.
Yes, so we've gotten complaints from the various neighborhoods. So that's when we had enacted this on June 17th, and we've written 120 citations since then.
Okay. Is it primarily certain neighborhoods, or is it distributed throughout the community?
It's distributed, and even today, we receive calls and complaints regarding Park Point, even just today, for the same
Just
thing.
on the way here, I counted 25 cars probably crossing the sidewalk just to come here.
It's problematic for the city because, at the end of the day, each property has a certain amount of parking spaces, and if the residents that are either whoever's residing in the home, if they have more vehicles than their property can accommodate, or the vehicles that they have are longer than their property can accommodate, this becomes a problem. And it's a widespread problem. We get the complaints every summer, for certain during the summer, but usually throughout the year, we will receive these complaints. And generally, the police have enforced that when we start receiving those complaints. But when we do receive them, we try to enforce throughout the community, because we don't want to enforce,
Right.
basically on one particular neighborhood, because it's a citywide ordinance. So it's at your discretion how you want to consider
So-
the issue.
I don't know if this is appropriate or not, because, I'm new here. I would just like I appreciate you speaking out.
Oh,
First, thank you so
Yeah,
much,
sorry.
because not enough people come to the city council meeting to say, hey, this is a concern. How many people who are here today are here because of that? Boy, I'm just, again, I'm happy you're here because of that, but I wish you'd be here more often. And I wish it wasn't because there was a problem that you're here. So I guess the reason I ask that is because, we're here to serve, as I feel, we're here to serve the community. There's only so much we can do with an Illinois state law because that's what we adopted. And so I appreciate your position on that. And that's not my committee, so I can't, make a recommendation. But boy, oh boy, you're right. There should be something we can do to understand. I wish the other neighbors who were complaining about your cars parked were here, because the first thing I tell you guys to do is have a conversation with each other.
Can I say something? I don't know. Sorry.
Sure.
Chief?
We do, we're very blessed to live in a great subdivision, really, and we actually have a Facebook for our subdivision, and we do talk, and it is, actually, my aunt is in the scrubs, that's my Aunt Nicole. We were just saying that that's why we're here, and I understand we should be here more often to speak on things, yeah, we are actually kind of surprised that there isn't as many people, because there is a lot of people in our subdivision, and that's why I brought the attention, instead of talking about it, let's come here and present it the appropriate way and see what we can do about it.
And again, I appreciate everyone who's here today, and thank you.
Is there any way, so we are trying to strategize and come up with some ideas just to throw out there. I don't know if it's possible, but could we park on the street until 11 o'clock? Nobody in our subdivision is walking at 11 o'clock. If they are, they probably shouldn't be. And then we pull our cars in, if that's something that maybe we can consider. Another thing that I noticed people are doing is they're pulling 2 cars up, and then our sidewalk is actually in the middle of our driveway. So then they take the third car and they park it sideways. So we're not blocking the sidewalk, but I heard that people are still getting ticketed for that. So, and I don't know, I don't know.
So what are the hours right now that you're not allowed to park on a city street?
Between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m.
Oh, so it's only those 3 hours that it can't be on the street, so as long as it's off the street,
Yep, and then,
before 2 a.m.
but then if we block our driveway from 2 to 5, then we get the ticket.
Just to be clear, your driveway ends at the sidewalk.
Okay,
The driveway apron is not considered your driveway.
okay,
But it is, you can park in the apron so long as
Okay.
you're not over the sidewalk or in the street.
okay.
So Mayor, we should visit 2 things. One is actually in my committee, I think, and the other one is Lisa's. But the first one is any new subdivisions, if we ever get another big subdivision, that we had issues with those snot garages that we call it snot houses. Now I know why there's a big reason for that, because it's now being enforced. So we need a setback where there's actually a longer driveway to the sidewalk before the apron, and that would relieve it, we can actually park more than 2 vehicles in there, because you can only park 2 cars in that driveway, because I live in that subdivision.
Yes, typically the setback is 25 feet.
Mhm.
So most vehicles, you can't fit 2 vehicles in a 25-foot
Right.
space.
Right.
Certainly, that can be considered. That would have to go through planning and zoning
Yep,
first because
but-
it's a UDO issue.
See with that, the other thing is, I know I'm not in that committee anymore, but admin, I know you said a lot of towns have adopted it, but there's a lot of towns that have not adopted or don't do it anymore, the 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. overnight parking ban. And it's probably because of that issue, because of, if you get closer in by the suburbs, closer in
Yeah.
by the city, they don't have as many overnight ban parkings in those municipalities. But there'll be also, you would have to probably only have one overnight, only one side you can park, so you're not blocking both sides of the street, but it would be something like that. And there will probably be issues, but those people get ticketed, and they already know, but at least you can still, have spots to park your vehicle, because even a four-person family, so parents and two kids, you can't
We're
park
getting
four
tickets.
vehicles in those driveways.
Yeah, we're getting, well,
Even with the two-car garage is not a two-car garage. It's for small, compact Priuses type vehicles, which no one owns anymore.
Yeah.
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to recommend the council to
Yeah.
send this to committee for consideration, and you
Yeah.
guys decide what you want to do. At the moment, we can't make any action on this issue this evening.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
May I ask then, what's the next steps then if it does go to?
Well, the next step would, it would go to the admin committee, assuming Alderwoman Haderlein is willing
absolutely.
to put it on the
Okay.
agenda.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
they would meet the third
July
week.
16th.
July
Okay.
16th.
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
6:30 here.
Here, okay, thank you guys very much, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have something really quick. So I have a complaint with people parking downtown more than 2 hours. I work at the bank, and we have a lot of customers that come in and said they can't park in front of our bank because we have other vehicles sitting out there for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, so we're looking at hiring, if we haven't already, a parking enforcement person just for that issue.
Okay.
All right, anyone else have something they wish to address council about? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 5, the consent agenda, items 5A through 5H. Is there any item on the consent agenda that council wishes to remove from the consent agenda? If not, I'll accept the motion, accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Haderlein and a second by Platt-Miller. Any comments, questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes.
Thank you, clerk. Item number 6 is dispensed since nothing was removed from the consent agenda. Item number 7 is payment of the bills. So seeking a motion to approve payment of the bills in amount of $958,506.67.
I'll make the motion as is.
Second.
Have a motion by Perkins, second by Haderlein. Questions or comments here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
excuse me, Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
All ayes.
Thank you. Item number 8 is Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation, seeking recommendation for the Planning and Zoning that the City Council approve the requested conditional use permit for Ducky Car and Bike Wash Incorporated under Section 14.3 of the Harvard Unified Development Code. The permit would allow the expansion of the existing car wash through the addition of an extra wash bay and would bring the use into conformance with current zoning regulations. And I believe representatives from the company are here if you wish to speak with them.
It seemed pretty straightforward.
What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to accept the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation that the City Council approves the zoning map. Oh, wait, am I on the wrong one? Nope, sorry, wrong one.
Item 8.
I'll make a recommendation, Planning and Zoning, for the City Council to approve the requested conditional use permit for Ducky Car Wash as written.
A second.
I have a motion by Platt-Miller, second by Hoeflich. Any other comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee, sorry.
Yes.
All ayes.
All right, thank you. You're good to go there. I think the clerk will have something for you probably sometime tomorrow, all right? All right. Moving on to item number 9 is Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation that the City Council approve the zoning map amendment to rezone the subject property, PIN number 06-02-276-041, from Business Park, BP, to General Business District, B2.
Can I ask, what are the implications by doing this?
It determines the types of businesses that can go on that property, which is called out in the UDO under the use matrix.
Just to clarify, the current zoning wouldn't allow this use at all. If you make the zoning map amendment, the use would be allowed, but only as a conditional use. So they'd still have to come before planning and zoning, come before this body. So this body would still, and planning and zoning would still have control, or at least be able to take a closer look at any one of these, should it be brought forth to the city.
And what other uses are then permitted in the B2 that would not be permitted in the BP?
We'd have to pull up the UDO if that's what you'd like to see.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
This specifically is for, they want to do storage containers there?
Oh, yeah,
So-
no, I know what they want to do,
Okay.
but the zoning will determine what anybody could do.
Indeed.
Once the zoning is changed, they could do something else. And I'd like to be sure that for that location, that the things permitted in B2 are appropriate. Thank you.
Here it is, use matrix. So, here, let me make this larger.
Thank you.
BP versus B2, so it's these two columns. So, conditional versus permitted use for animal care facility. You can do a conditional use for agricultural equipment and supply sales under B2 that you cannot do in BP. You have permitted for recreational facility indoor that is not permitted in a BP. You have a conditional use opportunity for an outdoor recreational facility that is not available in a BP. Animal care facility is permitted. It's a conditional use in a BP. Animal kennel is permitted, not in a BP. Let's see, conditional use for animal shelter, not permitted in a BP. Art gallery is permitted, not permitted. Art studio permitted, not permitted. Then conditional use for body modification establishment, not permitted in P2. Conditional use for a broadcasting facility with an antenna, conditional use in a BP for the same. Broadcast facility, no antenna is permitted and is also permitted in a BP. A bar is permitted in a B2 but not in a BP. Brew pub is permitted but not in a BP. Conditional use for cannabis dispensary but not in a BP. Conditional use for a car wash, I guess I missed that one. Next is a cannabis craft grower that's not available in a BP. Community center is permitted. Community garden is permitted. Those are not permitted in a BP. Contractor office with no outdoor storage is permitted, but not in a BP. Do you want me to go down through these?
Well, I think the point is that there's an extensive list of uses that would now be permitted
That's
there
correct.
that under BP are not permitted. I mean,
Indeed.
granted, if it's a conditional use, it's less of a concern because that has to come back through the council, but folks need to understand that all of those things that are listed as permitted now would be listed as permitted. They can just do. They can just come in and get a building permit and do that. And
And
that wasn't-
completely bypass
Right,
council.
exactly, and that fact wasn't discussed at the zoning board. When the hearing was focused on the specific, on the zoning change with the conditional use that they were requesting. And so I'm uncomfortable with making a zoning change of that nature, when that hasn't, the implications have not been discussed and considered.
Fair enough. Any other comments, motions?
Would I be allowed to say anything?
Are you the petitioner's attorney?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Yeah, of course. Jonathan Kamen, on behalf of the petitioner. I'm with the firms St. Cohen, Wright, and Saladin, excuse me, in Crystal Lake, 40 Brink Street, Crystal Lake. I just wanted to make a comment on the councilwoman's concerns about the B2 to business park. B2, and I don't know if we can pull it up, I have a small map here of the zoning districts for Harvard.
Just a moment. So I believe we're right here, is that right?
Yes, the weird-looking lot, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to point out that B2 is not entirely foreign along this corridor here. And so many of the parcels, and if you zoomed out a little bit, would see even much, there are a great number of the parcels along that corridor that are already B2. And so it wouldn't be a hugely significant change from what is typical for this part of the city. And so I just wanted to maybe address that as that change is to occur, that it would be something that has already taken place along here.
Okay.
And we are, the next agenda item has to do with some recommendations to the zoning committee about the intermodal storage facility. And my clients have, plans for doing that to this particular piece of property, so.
Any questions for the petitioner's counsel from city council?
And what was the main reason for the zoning change?
The storage, outdoor storage, and the use of the intermodals is not permitted.
The storage is basically what you want to change?
Correct. It's conditional under the B2 district.
Okay.
So this and your storage containers go hand in hand. I mean, we can give you this and we can say no to the storage containers, and that really doesn't do any good, does it?
Well, yes, we would prefer to have both. And the B2 does have a lot more uses, and my clients have some other, there are potential other uses for the piece of property. It's vacant land right now. But the preference is to use it for the storage.
So you can use it for storage and put up a bar tomorrow if we do this.
Storage bar.
Yeah.
Storage bar.
Well, I mean, they're pretty cool looking if you look at the storage containers, but, a bar is permitted there and
Look where the bars would be located, it'd be
Yeah.
right next to, behind McDonald's practically. It's not like it would be out of hand to have a bar there anyway.
I don't know, Mike.
Any other questions for the petitioner's counsel? What's your pleasure?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve the zoning change as states in the minutes.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I got one more question.
Okay.
Could you approve a zoning change specifically to use those containers?
No, once you approve the zoning change to that particular.
And I'm not
zone-
saying I want the containers anyway, I'm
Yep.
just saying.
No, the UDO does not permit that because it's a permitted use.
Just to clarify, when you're considering this specific amendment, there's specific standards in section 14.2 of the UDO that talk about map amendments. It's subparagraph E1. It talks about the specific approval standards. So it is important as you consider this and the action you're ultimately going to take, that you're considering the standards that have previously been approved in the UDO, and that the granting or denying of the zoning change isn't specific to, say, the conditional use that, or at least the proposed use. You have to consider the actual factors for the zoning map amendment when considering it, not just this specific project. So it is important that any vote that you take does take into consideration those zoning map standards and whether or not you believe those were met or were not met.
And those were addressed in the zoning board meeting, I believe, in the minutes? Yeah, on page, what page is that? Page 25 in the packet, it looks like we have the zoning, the June 3rd zoning board minutes. And the second item, the first one was Ducky's, and the second one is Rusky Enterprises. Don't-
We would have to go back to
Yeah.
the minutes.
Page, if you're actually looking at the planning and zoning minutes, it's on page 4.
Yep, page 3 and 4 are the questions that were,
That's about the car wash, 3 and 4.
no, that's about this, that's the Rusky, isn't it?
Rusky starts on page
2. And because it's adjacent to Ducky's is the, so there were adjacent properties in the, yeah.
Not too far.
Yeah, so I'm not sure which of the questions that were asked are specifically mentioned in the UDO as far as the standards for approving a map amendment. But my concern is that the discussion at the zoning board was not about the change to B2. The discussion was about the proposed conditional use. And the B2 wasn't. So it really, I don't feel that the hearing really addressed the complete suite of potential uses that would be approved for that site, and whether those are in fact appropriate in that location.
So the specific standards for a zoning map, just so we're all clear, Proposed amendment shall be compatible with the existing use and zoning of nearby property. The proposed amendment shall promote the public health, safety, and welfare of the city. The degree to which the proposed amendment results in a gain to the public as compared to the hardship imposed upon the applicant. Just zoomed out, sorry. The property proposed for amendment is suitable for the uses permitted in the proposed zoning districts. I think that touches on what you were referencing.
Yeah.
The length of time that the property in question has been vacant and presently zoned, as presently zoned, shall be considered in the context of development in the area where the property is located. The proposed amendment shall be consistent with the comprehensive plan and any adopted land use policies. The proposed amendment will benefit the residents of the city as a whole and not serve solely the interest of the applicant. The extent to which the proposed amendment creates nonconformities shall be considered as a factor against the amendment. Proposed amendment should be consistent with the trend of development, if any, in the general area surrounding the property in question. And the last one, the permitted uses in the zoning district being requested can be adequately served by public facilities that are existing or can be reasonably provided prior to new development on the property, including but not limited to schools, parks, police, and fire protection, roads, sanitary sewers, storm sewers, and water lines.
Yeah, I just wanted to, we did go through that. I don't know if it didn't make it into notes. My clients are here. We're at the meeting. I've got my list of questions that we went through in detail at that meeting. Every single one of the questions that Attorney Clifton just referenced. So that was thoroughly vetted at that meeting. And I think it is in the minutes.
I don't see the one about the facilities, the water sewer. Is that in the minutes?
3 and 4. Those are the pages I have for each one.
Okay, yeah, I do see that down there.
Yeah.
For-
Does talk about water management.
Okay,
Third from
Thank
the
you.
bottom.
thank you.
All right, council, well, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Going once?
I'll second Mike's motion, just so we can
All
have a
right.
vote.
We have a motion by Hoeflich, a second by Haderlein. Any other comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Kriete,
No.
Perkins,
No.
Haderlein,
No.
Platt-Miller,
No.
Lavallee,
No.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
Motion fails,
All right,
5-1.
thank you, clerk. Motion has been defeated, so afraid that the recommendation is failed or not passed. Item number 10 is a Community and Economic Development Committee recommendation seeking a motion to petition the Planning and Zoning Commission to review and evaluate regulatory options for intermodal containers, including standardized zoning regulations versus conditional use permits.
So because I was on this committee, I will make a motion to petition planning and zoning to take a look at this, and I'll explain why if there's a second.
I'll second.
Okay, well, we have a motion by Platt-Miller, a second by Haderlein. Comments or questions?
Yes, so one of the things that came up is these containers, not just in a business district, but in residential districts, currently the word is used, prohibited in residential districts. And that was something we, as a committee, looked at, wondered if that's really what we want. If we really want to prohibit something that has changed from what it was 20 years ago. And that's why we wanted to make this motion, to have it looked at by the appropriate committee.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes?
Platt-Miller,
Yes?
Lavallee,
No.
Hoeflich,
Excuse me, what's exactly the motion?
The motion is to petition the Planning and Zoning Commission to review and evaluate.
Okay, just to review and evaluate,
and-
yeah, okay.
And make recommendations to the council.
Yes.
motion passes 5-1.
Okay, this will go to Planning and Zoning, should be on the next Planning and Zoning Commission's calendar, which will be August 2nd, August 1st. It's one of those two.
Probably August 5th.
5th, okay. It's the first Tuesday of the month. All right. So that'll go to Planning and Zoning, and then pending what they decide, will come back to the council. All right, item number 11 is Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation concerning telecommunication antennas and towers. Seeking a motion to approve the wireless telecommunications regulations as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. These standards will be added as Section 9.7 in the Unified Development Code, pending review by the city attorney.
So I have a question. When was this discussed and approved at the zoning board? Because it was sometime prior to the June meeting.
It was the June meeting.
Really?
You can see if it was on Planning and Zoning's agenda.
Was it on planning and zoning, or was it on community and
Yep,
economic
it's right here,
development?
last page 5 of the minutes. Open hearing, City of Harvard talks about it.
Oh, thank you.
It was item number 7 on the Planning and Zoning Commission's.
Sorry. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And then it has received legal review? And, okay.
Our office did review it, and I think actually drafted the ordinance that you're considering.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the wireless telecommunications regulations as amended by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
I have a motion by Platt-Miller, a second by Perkins. Any other comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes?
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete.
Yes.
All ayes, motion passes.
All right, thank you. Item number 12 is the Infrastructure Committee recommendation seeking a motion to approve, I think it's DAME, is that the correct pronunciation? DAME mechanical bid for the northeast aerator motor and the gearbox replacement in the amount of $19,776.
Make a motion to approve Dame mechanical bid for the northeast aerator motor and gearbox replacement.
Second.
Motion by Haderlein, second by Perkins. Any other comments or questions here? This is going in the wastewater treatment plant. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes, motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 13 is the Infrastructure Committee recommendation seeking a motion to approve a contract with Domi Mechanical in the amount of $23,150 for boiler repairs with funding to be reallocated from previously approved capital improvement funds originally designated for tuck pointing, which I think was on our digester building, right?
That's correct.
I don't think your mic's on.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion as is for the 23,150 for boiler repairs.
I'll
Second. Oh, John. John.
All right.
John.
Motion by Perkins, second by Lavallee. Any other comments, questions here? Hearing none, clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes.
Very good, thank you. Item number 14 is the Infrastructure Committee's recommendation seeking a motion to approve the contract with Advanced Automation for replacement of the electrical panel and switch gear at the Marengo Road Lift Station in the amount of $54,875.75.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Advanced Automation.
And I'll second that.
Motion by Haderlein, second by Platt-Miller. Any other comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderwoman Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
All ayes.
Thank you. Item number 15 is the staff recommendation concerning Lions Park path bid. Seeking a motion to approve the contract with Everlast Blacktop Incorporated in the amount of $138,724.50, and then to authorize staff to execute the contract.
I'll make the motion for the contract with Everlast Blacktop Incorporation of the amount of $138,724.50.
And I'll second that.
And authorize
Yes, as is.
staff to execute the contract. All right, we have a motion by Perkins and a second by Platt-Miller. Any other comments or questions here? Hearing none, clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee,
Yep.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
All ayes.
Thank you, clerk. Rob, when do we think this will start?
So they're anticipating starting mid-July, taking approximately 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, so before the end of summer, we should have new paths up at Lions Park.
Absolutely.
All right, thank
Fall
you.
walking pass. That's good.
All right, thank you. And thank you to our state senator Severson, who helped us get the grant that we applied for 3 years ago. It's finally coming to fruition, so thank you.
Hey, Rob, if I can side note on that, will Public Works then be on snowplow duty on that?
So this is a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yes.
You don't plow it.
This is, I ran into this in a couple different municipalities. If we start treating it, we have a duty to act, salting, things like that. If it's left naturally, because it's 6 to 1, half dozen to another, because the people that like to cross-country ski would like it to remain snow-covered. The people that want to go for walks would like it to not remain snow-covered. And then if we plow off the snow, then do we treat it with chemicals or salt? How often can we get there? Do we have the staff to keep up a reasonable expectation of that? It's a ball of worms, but as directed.
I guess that'll be for Parks to decide. Okay.
Yay,
Good way to kick that ball over to someone else. All right. Thank you. Item number 16 is the season pass holder compensation for pool closures. So I'd like you guys to review and discuss proposed prorated discount towards 2026 season pass current 2025 pass holders that were affected by the delayed opening of the pool. So, Joe, could you tell us what the recommendation here is, as a compensation measure?
Yes, there may be other options, but one thing we've considered is, based on the fact that the pool season is normally 10 weeks, we were closed for 3 weeks, having a 30% discount for anyone who was impacted by that. Another option is to keep the pool pass valid until June 21st of next year, which would be just keeping their pool pass valid for 3 more weeks, and then deciding on what the cost would be for the remainder of the season if anyone wanted to purchase a season pass for the remainder of the 2026 season. And, so either of those recommendations, or other ideas if you have.
The second, where if you extended their pass for 3 weeks into next year's season, doesn't affect the budget because you've budgeted for a certain amount of revenue, and then if you decided alternatively, if you wanted to refund 30% for those who've already purchased their pass, then obviously we didn't budget for that lack of revenue, but it's certainly up to your discretion how you would like to, deal with this issue of trying to compensate those who had purchased a pool pass expecting to get those 3 weeks.
How many
of
pool passes
service.
are there altogether?
It was 95 pool passes,
Okay.
and they vary in cost depending on if it was a child or a resident,
Right,
non-resident, so we would certainly get into specifics about that.
Mostly in town,
Yes, majority,
so they'll be here next year.
yes, majority adult and child resident
And where can you get a current pool pass right now?
at the pool. They can buy them.
Okay.
And so if you were purchasing a pool pass now, would it be less because of
Rated?
for the amount of the season that's remaining?
It is not prorated at this point in time.
We've never done that, so if you were to purchase a pool pass at this time last year or any year prior, you would still pay the full price.
I think they still have enough time to get the worst out of that pass, though, if they go. They're gonna actually be going.
Right. But would they get the discount next year?
No, because we know which people have already purchased a pool pass this year this would apply to.
So we know who's willing to pay full freight for a shorter season.
Yes.
Do we, and right now we close the pool when exactly?
Inclement weather?
I mean, no, on Labor Day, or, I mean, what's the end date?
This year it's August, it's early.
Yeah, so it's normally based on the school year, so when D50 starts. So August 10th, which is a Sunday, is our last, well, August 8th is the last Friday, and then we stay open over the,
Keeping open for weekends?
yes, that's what I was just gonna
Yeah, depends
finish
on
with.
how
We stay open on
No, I
the
know,
weekends
it's
through
okay.
August. We're also discussing if there's an ability based on staffing, which we don't know for sure yet, if we can either stay open during the week, although there's fewer children because they're in school, or stay open or open up in the evening time after school as an option. But we still have to decide on staff, if we have enough staff for that.
We always have the issue every year of several of our guards are college students or seniors getting ready to go to college. Depending on when they leave, we have to have a certain amount of guards per capacity for the pool. And so it's always hit and miss where we're going to be by August. So some years we've been able to stay open the weekends through Labor Day, other years we haven't. So this year we're not really quite there yet as far as knowing how much staff we're going to have.
Have we asked?
Yes, I'm in contact with our pool manager, but we're trying to just get everyone up and running and continue the pool. We opened on Saturday.
No, I know, I'm just get the ball rolling early.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
all.
One of the other things we've done too is to try to alleviate some of this closure time that we have is we're going to be staying open on Fridays and Saturdays until 9 instead of 7, depending on whether or not there's a pool party scheduled. If there's already a pool party scheduled, they have exclusive rights to the pool, so we would be able to do it on those evenings. But the evenings we can stay open later. On the weekends, we're going to do that as well.
John, are you directing staff to ask the staff earlier?
I wasn't the staff to do anything, but.
Okay, I was just,
I can't.
That wouldn't be right.
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
I was just thinking out loud.
We were already exploring this option. It's just a matter of ascertaining whether we've got enough staff to do it. The issue is really just staff dependency.
Yeah, I was thinking about going back and getting my certificate.
Well, there you go. If you want to help out the staff, I think that would, if we had some adults that are willing to sign up to be lifeguards, that this would eliminate this issue, and then
If I could swim, I
we
would.
could stay
I don't
open,
have to swim.
really until it's
Or save a life.
weather really related. It's always been a staff issue.
Ring or something.
all right, so do we have to make a decision tonight on this? Is that what that is?
Yes, we're seeking what direction do you want to do? What do you want to do in terms
You
of
guys good with the
compensation?
prorated for next year for those people that bought passes already?
I am, but I'm concerned that there's this group of people who didn't buy passes specifically because the pool wasn't open, and they're going to feel slighted. That's my concern, is that they're like, well, the pool's, I would have bought a pass, but the pool's not open, and now we're going to get that backlash of, well, darn it, how come they get 3 extra weeks and we don't? We don't even get a cut rate because we did it. That's my concern. I can hear it already.
I just think it'd be easier for budgeting for the city for next year, because we already budgeted this for, actually the current year. And I understand the whole, because they didn't get it until now, and there might be a few that's gonna say that, especially now hearing this, saying, oh, I waited because of that. But a lot of people since I've been on city council for 6 years and being on the Parks Committee the first 2 years and everything, a lot of people will buy them at the beginning, and then there'll be a few people like, oh, yeah, let's go get them finally. So they're gonna wait, and like I just mentioned earlier tonight, they're the ones that bought them after the pool has opened up. As long as they go, I don't even know what the number is. Scott might know, I know he's not on it anymore, but he's been on since just recently. It's probably only 10 times you have to go to get your money's worth of the pool pass.
I don't even think it's 10 times.
Yeah.
It's much less.
Yeah, it's probably like 5, if that, handful of times.
So a daily pass is $8 for
$9.
in resident?
$8 for kids, $9 for adults.
Yeah, because I
and
paid
if you're a
$9
resident.
I was there Sunday.
Yes, if you're a resident.
And then the pool pass is,
$45 for a resident child and $50 for an adult.
right, so $50 if you went 4 times, you're $2 from being whole.
Yeah, so 5 times you gotta go.
Yep,
Okay.
5 times.
Thank you.
5 times, the better deal is.
So I'll make a motion to prorate the ones that bought before this issue, to prorate it for next year, for the 3 weeks, right? Is that how many weeks it was?
Yes.
So just want to make sure you're clear. Are you suggesting that those who have already purchased would be able to use that same pass for 3 weeks into next year's season?
No, prorate for next
You
year,
want to prorate their pass
next year.
3 weeks?
Yeah, because otherwise
less.
they might get the 3 weeks and then they're not going to buy another ticket because they're going to have 3 weeks short.
Okay, so
It's 30% less.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be the only best way to do it.
I think we should just clarify, so if we're gonna prorate it and if we're gonna use the percentages, so, just so that we're clear, what you're proposing or the motion you're making is that those people that had bought pool passes prior to the pool opening, next year will be able to purchase a full season pass at 70% of the cost.
Yes, 30%
Yes, what
discount,
Attorney
yes.
Clifton said. That's my motion.
all right, we have a motion by Perkins, second by Hoeflich, that those who've already purchased a pass prior to opening of the season have the ability to get a 30% discount on their season pass next year,
Next year's cost.
That's fair.
at next year's fee,
Cost.
whatever that cost is, yeah.
So we're gonna raise it 30% next year.
I didn't say that.
Any other comments or questions on this issue?
No.
Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Hoeflich.
Yes.
Kriete.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
All ayes. Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Item number 17, and by the way, Parks, if we can make a post to let the community know what the decision was concerning this, that'll be That way, everybody knows, and I think we should put it both on the website and social media. Okay, item number 17 is the staff recommendation for amendment to the water meter replacement policy ordinance, seeking a motion to approve the ordinance amendment regarding the water meter replacement policy.
Make a motion to approve the ordinance amendment regarding the water meter replacement policy.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Haderlein, second by Platt-Miller. Any other comments or questions here?
I do have one quick question, Rob.
Yes.
Now, when someone buys a house, is that inspected before? Like, because what happens, they buy it, then you guys show up, and then you realize it was damaged, but it was actually the people before them that damaged it?
In those scenarios, when somebody does a final, they have the option of turning in the meter reading themselves, or for $50, we'll come out there and take it and do the inspection, just because there's staff time involved in that. I think it pretty much goes hand in hand with like any other sort of cost associated with buying a house. If you buy a house and the water meter's bad when you buy the house, that should have been caught in the inspection. Also, when the water meters go bad, they're going to trigger us. You know, they're either not going to report, they're going to be leaking, there's going to be other issues. So, you know, generally speaking, this is really only in instances of tampering, damage, destruction, you know, any kind of altering, freezing, situations like that to recover staff time and the cost for the meter.
I have a question too. How does that work with rental units? Somebody new comes in and doesn't realize someone before them may have tampered with it? How do you prove that?
I mean, that
would fall on the homeowner.
Yeah.
No, in a rental though.
In rental units.
A renter has to inspect the gauges?
The bill goes to the tenant, or the bill goes to the landlord, not the tenant. So it's always to.
Okay. Just seeing how it works, just in case you're the new guy and you go, no, I never touched it, and you're saying, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You know, do we have a way to dispute that?
All water bills go to the landlord, they don't go to the tenant. So in this case, the bill would go to the landlord, not the tenant, because they're
just
property.
clarifying.
They could still pass it on to the tenant if they wanted to.
That's up to the tenant, you know, the agreement between the tenant and the landlord. But from the city's perspective, it would be on the landlord. All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Kriete.
Yeah.
Perkins.
Yes.
Haderlein.
Yes.
Platt-Miller.
Yes.
Lavallee.
Yes.
Hoeflich.
Yes.
All ayes, motion passes.
All right, thank you. Item number 18 is a staff recommendation concerning City Hall window replacement. Seeking a motion to approve the bid from Door Systems in the amount of $63,000 for the replacement of City Hall windows for the front entrance windows, and authorize staff to execute the contract.
My quick question on this, because during you guys' committee meeting, mentioned about drywalling the other ones over. Is that part of this? No. Okay, good.
And I believe there's been some clarification on the contract specs.
There has,
Yeah.
even though the contract, or the bid, the RFP called for removal and replacement of glass upon Alderman Lavallee's request to check why demo was excluded in the contract. I received a reply that demo includes removal of the windows and framing, and that would be an additional $45,000 cost to the $63,000. So I'll leave it at your decision on what you'd like to do with this motion.
So this is more than 63,000 once.
It would be $63,000 to replace the windows, but that doesn't include demo to remove the windows.
The old windows that we're gonna put these windows in.
Correct. That would be
Okay, so
another $45,000.
that's another thing you gotta know.
Yes.
I'll make a motion deny.
Thank you.
I will second that motion. Thank you for the clarification.
All right, I have a motion by Perkins and second by Platt-Miller to deny the approval of the bid from Door Systems in the amount of $63,000 for replacement of City Hall windows. Any other comments or questions?
Do you put that out for bid somewhere, or how do you
We
do
would,
that?
we would go back out to bid if you reject this bid.
What do you put that in, newspaper, or how do you,
It goes on our website.
website?
Mhm.
Okay.
And
I was
actually,
thinking, because we got a local glass company in town.
we have, it went out to bid the first time, we only got one bidder, this was it. So the bid has been revised by Trevor, and it's ready to roll tomorrow, should, this pass. Assuming you pass this
You deny
motion
this.
to deny, and we will try it again.
Just to clarify, the motion is a motion to deny, so a yes vote is voting in favor of denial, just so we're clear with that.
Yes, yes, no.
You got it, Alderman. Any other comments or questions? All right, clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Kriete,
Yes.
Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
all ayes. Motion passes to deny.
All right. Might be one of my ways to, I can use my big denial stamp.
Deny.
Okay, thank you. Item number 19 is the staff's recommendation concerning surplus property, seeking a motion to adopt the proposed ordinance declaring surplus property.
I'll make the motion as is.
Second.
Motion by Perkins, second by Haderlein. Any other comments, questions here? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Perkins,
Yes.
Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yes.
all ayes. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 20 is a strategic vision review. Is there any items that council wants to review for this? We are going to have a committee of the whole next month to really discuss this, but is there
Do we
anything
know
you
when
want-
that committee of the whole meeting is going to be?
We'll make that happen here a little bit later in the meeting and determine that date. Council? No comments? All right. We will then move on to staff monthly reports. We'll start with Chief. Pass around the microphone.
Okay, so what going on, Grace, we hired Grace Peters a couple weeks ago. She was sworn in as our new officer. She will report this Sunday to the Illinois State Police Academy for her 16 weeks of training. We are in the process of doing a background on our parking enforcement officer that was approved in the budget for the downtown and metro area. Obviously, we talked about the parking issues already. That was in my notes. But again, like I stated earlier, several complaints regarding the sidewalks, and then at the same time, we had the lawn parking, which actually got even worse. So we do have several directed patrols. What the officers do is when they do these directed patrols, which is some parking and then obviously some speeding issues in Park Point, they log the time and what citations were issued. So that's how we are able to track that. Lastly, obviously, if a lot of you saw, there were 3 fatalities today. The sheriff did put out a message regarding that warning. So tomorrow morning, I will set up another directed patrol for just speed enforcement, especially on our through streets and major highways. So just so you're aware. Other than that, report is submitted.
Thank you. I suspect that, I don't know that it's proven one way or the other, but I suspect some of those accidents may have been due to driver inattention, specifically cell phone texting.
Right. So it'll be not just speed, but it'll be, obviously cell phone usage and things like that. So, this morning there were 3 fatalities just this morning, so.
That's very sad. Thank you. Joe?
The pool is open, so that's really great. And I just want to extend a thank you to the community for being really patient and engaging in the ways that we tried to make the pool fun, even with our sprinkler splash days. Other than that, the report is submitted in the packet.
Okay, thank you. Rob?
Couple details I'll add. I did hear back from Schroeder. They will plan on a mid-August start for Air Street resurfacing. They anticipate it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for major construction, major completion, with a week for striping. Right now, we have holes to Mordor open up all over Ayer Street to fix all of the storm sewer and sanitary problems we found, so you're going to see a lot of gravel spots. We're going to do those beforehand so they don't become gravel spots after. Right now, I'm out skip patching, so if you see the brackets or you have anybody asking questions, that's what they're for. Just because the brackets are down does not mean those will be guaranteed. Areas where streets are in totally failed condition will not be skip patched. This is for localized repairs in order to make things solid. Sorry, 3rd Street. But there's just areas where it just makes more sense to make it passable. So that's out there. We're working on trees. There's a lot of stuff to do. And the weather has not been helping with that. I feel bad with some of the stuff that we've had to do. We've taken a break from the asphalt patch cart for a couple days, but we'll be on that as soon as it kind of cools down a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Rob, on that one, is there any way to, if we do find out, guarantee this was a comment poll, any way to get reimbursed by them for the man hours we gotta do to fix this? That you put on Front Street on your report?
If I do find that it was a punch-through poll, possibly. There is a way to do it. I've went through this process before. Just a matter of uncovering it. And right now, we're just trying to get to that point. Locates have been super slow because of the slug that USIC has experienced. Every locate I put in, they're asking for extensions of up to a week. So it's really kind of lacking here and there. Street signs, they will push us out a week. So it's been long.
Is USIC just short of labor? Is that the?
USIC, talking to the USIC staff, they weren't prepared for SURF and I3 and all these broadband companies that are putting fiber optics everywhere. And then additionally, the amount of crews that they have working. So it's not just Harvard, but I think the city had 6 locators just on Air Street alone when there was the NICOR strike. And there's one experienced locator, and like the others have a ranging of inexperience, but there's another guy that's supposed to be double checking it, but obviously with the rate that everybody's trying to work, they're missing stuff here and there. So the most recent NICOR gas main hit on Air and the ComEd service hit on Marengo were both mismarks. So.
Okay, thank you.
So can I direct to make sure we can see if we get reimbursement then? Because that's going to be costing the city now to fix that issue. Thank you.
Mike?
The only thing to add to my report is, I hesitate to give a date on this because McGuire has not hit one date to date as far as their tower work. But tentatively, July 14th, we will begin the process of taking Tower 2 out of service and starting the paint job on the inside and outside of that tower. So I would suspect it'll probably be closer to the 1st of August, but tentatively there's supposed to be a crew here July 14th.
Mid-July to mid-August, yeah?
He didn't give me a year.
Yeah.
He just said July 14th.
All right.
Rob, do you remember how much water that we had issues with that when we took the first one out? Like, was any issues with the, because which how much you have to do that? I just know because City of Park Ridge did their water tower, and they had a bunch of water main breaks because of that.
No, we have a valve on Deer Path that we open.
Okay, so we won't be getting water main breaks because of that?
No.
Okay.
No, we open that valve up, it allows the flow from 6 to move over into the northern parts.
Okay.
That area is actually easier to do than Tower 3 is.
And I will say, if there's any main breaks caused from the redirecting of water, I will take them midsummer. Happily.
Much better than in the middle of winter, yes.
The break will wait until January.
Yes. Ann, you have anything?
Yeah, so I connected the builder that's doing the duplexes in Country Brook, hooked him up with the owner of the one lot that still existed that was like the parking lot there. It's not really a parking lot, it's a buildable lot. It was utilized for the trailer when they had the model homes.
Yes, so that's the one right on, if you're going west on Airport, you turn right into Country Brook duplexes, that first parking lot on the left,
Correct.
which would be on the western side.
Is that a true parking lot?
It is not a true parking lot.
So
It's
people shouldn't be parking in there?
well, it's paved, so they're able to park there, but there's gonna be people upset because he's gonna be bulldozing it and turning it into a duplex soon. So just wanted to give you all a heads up that
Like the
that's
Turtle
what's happening
Crossing
there.
people were not too happy either when that turned into a duplex, so they'll get
Yeah,
over it.
it's where the trailer was when they were selling the homes.
Right. It was their sales office.
Right. And also, I just wanted to let you all know that I graduated from LGMC a couple weeks ago here. I know there's
Alumni.
at least 3 of us in the room now that are graduates. So it was a very good experience. I'm very glad I went and learned all sorts of things about the county and met a lot of resources, and it's pretty cool. And report submitted.
All right, well, thank you and congratulations on that graduation. We've been wanting to keep staff going to LGMC because it really helps connect the city with other parts of the community in our county, and I think it helps us create relationships that we don't currently have, so. Okay, moving on then to committee reports. We'll start over here, down through each of the aldermen. Joel, do you have anything for the council?
No, not at this time. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Well, we gotta set up our community develop meeting for next month.
Not on a Thursday, please and thank you.
It won't be, but it'll probably be July 15th.
Other calendar.
To Tuesday.
I'll have to phone in. If you could do it the week before or the week after, I'm good, but I cannot do the 15th.
The week before, I'm out of town for softball.
And then we have city council meeting.
Week before is infrastructure committee.
Week after the city council. meeting.
Yep, city council meeting.
Time, Alderman?
6:30, tentative, because I gotta find out Lori will be able to show up, because if not, we won't have a quorum.
What date, July 15th still?
Yes.
If you- Yeah, that's just appointments I've had that have been out
At
like
6:30.
4 months.
Correct.
I'll see if I can change my appointments. I'll call in if I can, but I do not plan on physically being here, unfortunately.
Okay, July 15th, is that settled?
Yes,
All right,
that's all I have.
okay, thank you. Clerk, you've got that then?
Yep.
Okay. Matt, then, Lisa, do you have anything for council tonight?
Tree board, July 2nd, right?
Yep.
And
6:30?
6:30, correct. And then admin, July 16th at 6:30,
What is?
administration. Admin. And I think we'll be talking about parking in the street.
Definitely got that down.
So,
Finally, we
yeah, John, Joel, I
bring on the
hope you'll
chickens.
both be there.
Unless I can change my other work
Weather
schedule.
permitting.
So.
I'm sorry, what day was the
Admin is the 16th.
16th.
16th?
Yeah, Wednesday, the 16th, 6:30, here. And that's it.
Okay, Annamarie? Nothing tonight?
Nothing.
Okay, John?
So everyone good for the infrastructure on the 8th?
Yes.
Yes? All right, Matt's good, we're good. That's about it, only, Rob, so they're not starting until mid-August, and there is an end date, though, I mean, the last, okay.
Yeah, they have 25 working days. 25 working days, or I believe it's the 14th or 15th of September,
Okay.
which they believe they'll have no trouble hitting.
All right. Mike, you have anything for council?
I had a good time at the pool last Sunday, but I did go up there. I noticed on the west side of the pool building, there's a lot of paint off the trim work there. It should get painted, at least on the west side. It's bare wood. That's all I got.
Okay, we'll make note of that. All right, moving on. Treasurer's report.
In the packet, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Attorney's report.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Administrator's report.
Also in the packet, I would just like to add that we're about 2 months in now to the interim, and I wish you all could see what I see on this end from staff. They've been absolutely amazing. Everybody has stepped up to the plate and done above and beyond to make things continue to work well, and we have really not really missed a beat. So hopefully that continues until we figure everything out, and thank you, staff.
Okay, thank you. Clerk's report.
Upcoming meeting dates, July 1st, Planning and Zoning is posted to cancel. July 2nd, Tree Board at 6.
Posted to cancel? Planning and
Yes.
Zoning, then we just sent something to planning and zoning?
August.
Oh, in August, oh, August, okay.
Tree Board, the 2nd at 6:30. Infrastructure Committee on the 8th at 6:30. Community and Economic Development on the 15th at 6:30. Admin Committee on the 16th at 6:30. Parks and Rec Board, July 21st at 6 p.m. And the next City Council meeting is July 22nd at 7 p.m. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Then we'll move on to Mayor's report, and I got a few things to report. Number one, obviously, we've lost our Economic and Community Development Director. Very sad to see Donavan go, but wish him well in his new ventures down in Tennessee. We have already posted his position. I think we've received at least 3, now 4, so I haven't seen the 4th resume yet. That position will close resumes later, July 3rd. And then we've also posted the city administrator's position, and that's been posted website as well as the various kind of municipal associations that where these generally are posted. So both nationally within Illinois, the Illinois Association as well as Wisconsin. And that's will be open until the end of July. Is it the 18th? I don't remember what date it was. It was towards the end of July. And then we'll start interviewing and finding people to fill those positions. So I wanted to give you an update on that. Also, in the meantime, thank you very much to Deb and to the rest of the staff who've really been working together to try and kind of handle things as we can. And I think we've done a very, very unbelievably amazing job in the interim. So kudos to our staff. Then also now we need to schedule the strategic vision meeting. I'm open, so obviously we want to try and avoid some of the other dates. So maybe Thursday is a better day to consider.
Thursdays are horrible for me.
Thursdays are horrible for you?
Yes, I have a second job. I work on Thursday nights. I can make an adjustment if that's what everyone else needs to do, but I will say it is a hardship.
Okay. Otherwise, you've got Wednesday the 9th that is open. And that's it.
How about
Or on Monday
the
night.
1st, since planning and zoning's canceled?
You could do that, but I have a conflict then. But we could do a Monday, the 7th or 14th.
I'm good either of those. I'm also good the 9th.
So 7, 9, 14. What's your pleasure?
14 would work better for me. If,
I can't do 14. I could do 7. I could do 7 or 9.
I'm flexible.
Thank you, Mike. 7 or 9? Who can't do the 7th?
I'll be on shift.
Who can't do the 9th?
I'll just be out of town. I'm being Iowa.
Well, I think we're gonna have to pick a date that somebody's not gonna be here, so,
It's fine. It's more for the newer people than,
that's a fair statement. How about the 7th or 9th? What's your pleasure?
Somebody flip a coin.
How about the 7th?
Next Monday?
Monday.
What works good for you? Or, I'm flexible.
I can do either the 7th or the 9th.
Okay, yeah,
All right,
we'll do the
Monday,
7th.
let's pick Monday, July 7th. We'll make that at, let's do 6:30. I don't know how long that meeting will go, but I don't want to.
That's almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
that is true.
Oh, the 7th is no good.
It was.
So
Yeah,
I think
but Charlie's
6:30,
not here
We'll
anymore.
try to keep it under 2 hours.
Will this be including staff as well?
They know the best of the vision.
It probably should. Yes. Unfortunately, because I think if they have questions or comments, they may need input for those particular departments based on whatever part of the division that we're looking at. So I think they will need to be present. Okay, I've got July 7th at 6:30. Clerk, you got that in the thing? All
If
right,
there's, Mike and I were just talking, both of us are on vacation on July 7th.
What? The whole water
What,
department's
you're
on
allowed to take
vacation?
vacation?
Well, I mean, it's
Who's gonna run it?
it's a
Who
holiday-
approved that?
It's a holiday weekend. We're just throwing it out there, so.
Who's going to run this now?
Is that holiday weekend? Oh, yes, it is a holiday weekend. Yeah.
He's out on Monday, I'm out the whole week, so.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Oh, so we could do it on the 9th.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, you know
Good
what?
point.
Most of the staff is actually off that Monday.
Oh.
Oh, because it's probably observant for
Can we do the
Yeah,
9th?
4th of
All
July.
right, move it to the 9th.
Okay.
9th
it
I'm
is.
flexible.
Okay, 9th it
The
is.
9th at 6:30.
All right.
Going once?
Oh,
Going twice? All right, the 9th at 6:30 is the Committee of the Whole. Counselor, I don't know
Al?
that you need to be there for that, so.
If that changes, let us know.
Okay. Beyond that, at this juncture, item number 28, we're going to move into closed session pursuant to discuss probable or imminent litigation pursuant to Section 2C11. Take a motion to move into closed session.
so moved.
Second,
I have a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Just to clarify, the motion to go into closed session is pursuant to the section cited by the mayor, 2C11, regarding possible or probable or imminent litigation.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, need to make sure we state that.
Correct.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Haderlein,
Yes.
Platt-Miller,
Yes.
Lavallee,
Yes.
Hoeflich,
Yes.
Kriete,
Yeah.
Perkins.
Yes.
All ayes.
Okay, I'm going to pause the stream.
Has anyone ever denied going in closed session?
Do we need to reestablish quorum?
I think the clerk can just indicate that all members of council that were present before are still present, such that we have a quorum.
All 6 members that were present at the previous open meeting are still present.
All right, thank you. Being out of closed session now, item 31 is adjournment. Seek a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Motion by Platt-Miller, second by Perkins. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Lavallee.
All in favor.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All All right, thank you. Good night.
Watch any of our meetings.
More than a few.